Once, there was a kingdom named Carpia. It was a land of green hills and bright flowing rivers. The people of Carpia were happy and lived in peace. They built their homes with strong wood and sturdy stone. Their fields were full of golden wheat, and their orchards grew sweet, red apples. The sun always seemed to shine a little brighter there. The king, a kind and wise man, ruled with a gentle hand. He loved his people, and his people loved him. They thought their peaceful days would last forever. A long, beautiful song with no end in sight. But a shadow was creeping toward their perfect world, silent and unseen. It started as a whisper on the wind, a strange heat in the air that made the birds quiet. Then the sky turned a dark, angry red. From the heart of the tallest mountain, a great beast awoke. It was a fire dragon, its scales the color of molten rock and its eyes burning with ancient rage. The dragon, known in old tales as Ignis, had slept for 1,000 years. Now it was awake and it was hungry. Its roar echoed through the valleys, shaking the very foundations of the peaceful kingdom. The first attack came without warning. Ignis flew over the villages, breathing streams of bright orange fire. The flames turned homes into ash and fields into black, empty spaces. Fear, a cold and unfamiliar feeling, spread through Carpia like a sickness. The people hid in their cellars, their hearts pounding like drums. The sound of the dragon's wings became the sound of nightmares. The king tried to rally his soldiers, but their swords and arrows were like tiny needles against the dragon's thick, stony hide. The hope that had once filled the kingdom began to fade, replaced by smoke and despair. In the middle of this chaos, a terrible tragedy struck the royal castle. The kind king was found in his chambers, gone from the world. His death was a deep mystery, a dark puzzle with no clear answer. Some whispered it was the dragon's magic, a curse woven from fire and shadow. Others feared a traitor was hiding within the castle walls, someone who wanted to see Carpia fall. With the king gone, the kingdom was left without its leader. The people felt lost, like a ship without a captain in a raging storm. The weight of the entire kingdom now fell upon the shoulders of his only child, Princess Louisa. Princess Louisa was young, known more for her love of books and ancient maps than for leading a kingdom. She had spent her life in the quiet safety of the castle library, learning about Carpia's long and storied past. Now, with her father gone and her home in danger, she had to be strong. She stood before her frightened people, her heart heavy with grief, but her voice steady and clear. She promised them she would not let Carpia fall. She would find a way to stop the fire dragon. This was no longer just a story in a book, it was her life, and she had to write the next chapter herself. Just as despair began to take hold, a lone rider appeared at the castle gates. It was Gabriel, a knight who had left Carpia years ago on a long and difficult journey. He was known for his unmatched bravery and his loyal heart. He had heard of the kingdom's suffering and returned to offer his sword and his service. When he saw Princess Louisa, he did not see a scared girl. He saw a leader with fire in her eyes, a determination that matched his own. He knelt before her and pledged to help her save their home, no matter the cost. Louisa accepted Gabriel's help with gratitude. Together, they spent long nights in the library, searching through old, dusty scrolls. They were looking for a legend, a forgotten myth that might hold the key to their survival. They found a story about a creature of equal power to the fire dragon, a being of opposite nature. The scrolls spoke of an ice dragon, a magnificent beast named Glacius, who slept deep within the frozen mountains to the north. The ancient text said that only the ice dragon's frosty breath could cool the fire dragon's flames and bring balance back to the world. Their plan was dangerous, a desperate hope against a powerful enemy. They would journey to the Frostheart Peaks, find the sleeping ice dragon, and awaken it. It was a quest that no one had attempted for centuries. Many believed the ice dragon was just a myth, a children's story told on cold winter nights. But for Louisa and Gabriel, it was their only chance. They gathered supplies, prepared for the cold, and said their quiet goodbyes. Their journey would be long and filled with unknown dangers, but they were united by a single burning purpose: to save Carpia. The journey to the Frostheart Peaks was harder than they could have ever imagined. Louisa and Gabriel traveled through dark, enchanted forests, where the trees whispered secrets and shadows seemed to move on their own. They crossed wide, rushing rivers with currents so strong they nearly pulled them under. The path was not clear, and they had to rely on Louisa's knowledge of old maps and Gabriel's skill in navigating the wild. Every day brought a new challenge, testing their courage and their will to continue. They shared their food, their fears, and their hopes, growing closer with every step they took. Along their path, they encountered a wise old hermit who lived in a hidden cave. He warned them that the ice dragon was protected by powerful magic. He also told them about a traitor back in the castle, a nobleman who had used dark arts to kill the king and awaken the fire dragon. This nobleman wanted to rule over the ashes of Carpia. This news gave Luisa a new strength. She was not just fighting a monster, she was fighting for justice for her father. The hermit gave them a magical amulet that would glow warmly when they were close to the ice dragon's resting place. With the hermit's warning in their minds, they finally reached the Frostheart Peaks. The mountains were like giant teeth made of ice and snow, reaching for the sky. The air was so cold it hurt to breathe. They climbed slippery slopes and crossed narrow ice bridges, the wind howling around them like a hungry wolf. The amulet the hermit had given them began to glow, its gentle warmth a comfort in the biting cold. It led them to a vast hidden cave behind a frozen waterfall. The entrance was sealed with ancient ice, but Luisa, remembering a passage from a book, spoke a forgotten word, and the ice slowly melted away. Inside the cave, everything was blue and silver, sparkling with a magical light. In the center of the enormous cavern, they saw it, the ice dragon, Glacius. It was even more magnificent than the legends described. Its scales shimmered like a million tiny diamonds, and its horns were carved from pure, clear ice. It was fast asleep, its great chest rising and falling in a slow, deep rhythm. Awakening such a powerful creature was a great risk. They did not know if it would be a friend or a foe. With a deep breath, Luisa stepped forward, her heart full of hope, ready to face their destiny. Luisa held the glowing amulet and spoke to the sleeping dragon. She did not command it, but asked for its help. She told Glacius of Carpia's suffering, of the fire that was destroying their world, and of the balance that needed to be restored. The ice dragon's eyes, the color of a frozen lake, slowly opened. It saw the courage in Luisa's heart and the loyalty of the knight beside her. Glacius rose, shaking the cavern, and let out a roar that was not of anger, but of ancient power. It lowered its head, allowing Luisa to touch its icy snout. It had agreed to help. They returned to Carpia with the great ice dragon flying beside them. The people, who had been hiding in fear, came out and stared at the sky in wonder. They saw their princess returning not with an army, but with a legend. Ignis, the fire dragon, sensed the rival power and rose to meet the challenge. The sky became a battlefield of fire and ice. Ignis breathed enormous plumes of flame, but Glacius met them with blasts of freezing mist. The battle raged for hours, a spectacular and terrifying dance of opposites. The ground shook with their power, one trying to burn the world, the other trying to save it. Luisa and Gabriel, watching from a high tower, saw their chance. The traitorous nobleman was in the castle courtyard below, using dark magic to give Ignis more strength. Gabriel fought his way through the corrupted guards while Luisa confronted the traitor. Using her cleverness and the knowledge she had gained from her books, she broke his magical staff, cutting off his connection to the fire dragon. Weakened, Ignis faltered. In that moment, Glacius unleashed a final powerful blast of ice that encased the fire dragon in a frozen prison, silencing its rage forever. The battle was won. With the fire dragon defeated and the traitor brought to justice, peace slowly returned to Carpia. The people cheered for their princess, who had faced impossible odds and emerged a true leader. She was crowned Queen Luisa, and she ruled with the same wisdom as her father, but with a newfound strength that she had discovered within herself. Glacius, the ice dragon, became the kingdom's guardian, its presence a symbol of hope. Queen Luisa rebuilt Carpia, making it stronger and more united than ever before. Her story taught everyone that with courage, teamwork, and belief in oneself, even the darkest shadows can be overcome by the light.